Please speak your name.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for the 2019 AFRI Foundational and Applied Sciences Food Safety, Nutrition, and Health Program Areas webinar. I am Mallory Koenings, and I'm a program coordinator at the National Institute of Food and Agriculture. During this webinar, our food safety and nutrition national program leaders will describe their program areas. After all presentations are finished, we will take questions submitted to the chat. You may submit a question by clicking on the icon that looks like a thought bubble, then entering and submitting your question there. Different program areas are inviting different types. They have and deadlines. So please listen carefully and read RFA carefully. It is my pleasure to introduce our speaker this afternoon. Dr. Jody Williams is a national program leader in food safety. She'll be providing an overview of AFRI. Dr. Isabel Wall, national program leader in food safety, is presenting the defense program area. Dr. Melvin Carter, national program leader in food safety, presenting the novel foods and innovative manufacturing technologies program area. Dr. Helen Chipman, national program leader in nutrition, presenting diet, nutrition, and the prevention of chronic diseases program. Dr. Paul Cotton, national program leader in nutrition, presenting the food and human health the Food and Human Health Program area, and Dr. Morgan Morant, National Program Leader in Food Safety, presenting mitigating antimicrobial resistance across the food chain program area. And it is my pleasure to invite Dr. Williams to begin. One moment. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you. Welcome to our Food Safety, Nutrition, and Health webinar for AFRI this fiscal year 2019. My name is Jody Williams. I'm National Program Leader. I'm going to give you an introduction and a quick overview of what we're going to do today. So this is not a grantsmanship writing workshop. This is an opportunity to meet the national program leaders, orient yourself to the basic requirements for the 2019 program from RFA, and an opportunity for you to ask questions at the very end. Next slide, please. Sorry. So what you'll learn today is basically what's new in the portfolio, an overview of the programs and priorities that are specific to this particular food safety and nutrition health portfolio, basic application requirements, who we are at NEFA and what programs we manage, how you can reach us specifically after this webinar, and then we'll answer any questions that you may have. Next slide, please. This is just a quick agenda. Like I said, I'll provide an introduction for the AFRI foundational programs, and then we'll go into the specific food safety, nutrition, and health sub-priorities that will be led by the national program leaders representing those programs. Next slide. So AFRI is USDA's flagship competitive grant program designed to support fundamental and applied research, education, and extension projects in the food and ag sciences. The 19 and 20 RSA includes applied research only and integrated program priorities. Next slide. These are the different project types offered this year through the Food Safety, Nutrition, and Health portfolio. There'll be research or integrated projects depending on the programs, and we'll get into more detail on what that means, as well as the programs those particular project types associated with. We'll also talk about the different grant types, standard, phase, and conference. And then while our key program area priorities are generally very broad, there are some new program area priorities for 19 and 20 that we'll go into detail further. Next slide, Mallory. The AFRI Foundational Program is aligned with the U.S. Farm Bill priorities. There are 6. We're specifically focusing today on the food safety, nutrition, and health portfolio and the alignment of that with the food safety, nutrition, and health priorities. Next slide. In addition to the specific program priorities under the food safety, nutrition, and health, I want to bring your attention to the cost-cutting programs that are also offered this year under the AFRI program, under the AFRI Foundational Program. We have that may address food safety and nutrition, food science priorities, the agriculture innovation through gene editing priority, agriculture microbiomes, critical agriculture research and extension program, food and agriculture cyber informatics tool programs, interdisciplinary engagement in animal systems programs, foundational knowledge of plant products, and tactical sciences for agriculture biosecurity. I'd also like to share that the exploratory program was discontinued this fiscal year. Another one of the things that I wanted to mention is that the competitive program matching requirement that was updated in the 2015 Farm Bill has been removed. That matching requirement has been modified and reverts back to the 2011, I believe, Farm Bill, which says that only projects that are commodity specific and not of national scope have to have a match. So the matching requirement has been modified significantly from last year to this year. A little bit more on our grant types. These are, I'll go into some detail on our phase, Food and Ag Science Enhancement Grants. This particular grant type is limited to AFRI programs. It's looking to strengthen science capabilities in research, education, and/or extension programs. It helps institutions to develop competitive projects and build capacity, and attract new scientists into careers in high-priority areas of national need. There are 3 phase grant types: new investigator grants, strengthening standard grants, and conference grants. The strengthening grants include seed grants, sabbatical grants, equipment grants, and our strengthening standard grants. Our new investigator grants, in order to fit into that criteria, you have to have less than 5 years of postgraduate career track experience in the research, education, and/or it can be research, education, and/or extension grants. You have not received competitive federal research funds beyond pre- or postdoctoral grants or AFRI seed grants. It's not associated with any specific request for application. But you have to identify an AFRI program for your topic and submit to that program by its deadline. So it doesn't have its own RFA. It falls under the specific priority areas associated within the program. The proposal is the same for new investigators as it is as non-new investigators, except there's a box to check that indicates that you are a new investigator and eligible. Seed grants are $200,000 for 2 years. They're used to collect preliminary data for future AFRI funding. They can be single function, research, education, or extension. Sabbatical grants are up to 1 year of salary, funds for travel and supplies, and many sabbaticals are also appropriate. The other strengthening grant type are equipment grants. These equipment grants are $50,000 or 50% of the cost of the equipment, whichever is less. And it's for one piece of equipment, up to one piece of equipment that costs between $10,000 and $250,000. There is federal matching, but you can get a waiver for that matching for the lowest one-third, and these are for the lowest one-third institutions. There's a 7-page limit and the project narrative for all of these different grant types. So for the sabbatical seed and equipment grants, 7-page limit on those project narratives. For the strengthening standard grants, these can be research, education, and/or extension. The proposal is the same as a standard proposal with that 18-page limit for the narrative. The only difference is there's a box to check indicating eligibility for standard strengthening grant. Again, there's no specific RFA. You will apply under the AFRI program for that particular topic area and submit it by that program's deadline. There's no specific separate panel. It will be reviewed with standard proposals in the same panel of that topic area. Eligibility for strengthening grants. So those are our seed, sabbatical, equipment, and strengthening standard, as I just mentioned. These are limited to F-score states, small and mid-sized or minority-serving degree granting institutions or degree-granting institutions with limited institutional success. F-score stands for experimental program to stimulate competitive research. And those states are recalculated every year. States can move on and off the list. You can see the request for applications, and we're going to follow up with a list shortly. Actually, next. This is the current F-score states list. I'm not going to go through all the different states. It is posted on the NIFA website, and it is also in the request for applications as a link. Small and mid-sized institution means total enrollment of 17,500 or less. Minority serving, the definition of minority serving is enrollment of a single minority group or a combination of minority groups that exceeds 50% of the total enrollment. Limited institutional success means it's not amongst the most successful university and colleges for receiving federal funds for science and engineering research and development. Limited institutional success entities are included in the request for applications as a link. And so this is going to take us right into the different program area priorities. As I mentioned, for 2019, we have a couple of new programs. We have our national program leaders here that will introduce those different programs. We have the Food Safety and Defense Program, Novel Foods and Innovative Manufacturing Technologies, Diet, Nutrition, and the Prevention of Chronic Diseases, Food and Human Health, and Mitigating Antimicrobial Resistance Across the Food Chain.